Hey everybody, it's June 29th, 2024, and I'm going to give you a little tour of my garden this year. Harvested sweet onions recently. Take you through here. Start in the corner here. This is my little potato bed. It's in straw bales. Didn't have as many sprout as I'd hoped, but the ones that did look good. This is straw bales, pretty locked up, hopefully to keep any voles or other rodents out. This is my first row of circle pots. I had lettuce and things in here earlier. Now I've got peppers around the outside, got herbs, dill and parsley, celery, and on the inside I've got tomatoes. These new cages I built that are working out great. Inside are sunflowers, but they're probably not going to do too good with how quickly these tomatoes have grown. Over here I've got more tomatoes, a lot of ripe sun gold cherry tomatoes, and they are about 8 feet tall, some of them, well, 8 feet from the bottom of the pot. Had a lot of peas growing here earlier. Now I've got, these are asparagus beans or yard-long beans. I've got okra there that's doing real well. And I got 3 kinds of cucumbers growing along here, and they're coming around. Strawberries were very productive this year. I've just trimmed them back and need to weed. But I got about 50 pounds harvested just out of my backyard. I've got herbs here, flowers there. Keep coming over here. Here I've got some pole beans, which are starting to climb. They're a purple variety, hoping they'll be easier to see that way. Same thing on this side. Tomatoes. And this is my other row of circle pots. These tomatoes are a dwarf variety, so my mix of sunflowers in the middle should do a little bit better. And again, peppers on the outside. I've got these grafted kinds that have 2 different kinds of peppers growing on some of them. And then more celery and herbs, rosemary, basil. Probably didn't need cages this tall for these dwarf tomatoes, but I may grow a taller variety this year depending on how these do. Blackberries are doing well, but I probably should put a netting over it, keep the birds out. Here I've got squash and zucchini growing in these pots. And I'm harvesting some. Well, we'll see. Had some extra potato plants, so these are potatoes. And then as I harvest the potatoes, I replaced with some extra plants here that are doing pretty good. Let's see. All my tomatoes. This year I got 3 full rows, so 30 in this section. And to go along with the 12 in the circle pots and the 10 on the fence, 52 plants total. Got a very early start. Planted a lot of these tomatoes on about April 20th, so I'm already harvesting. Looks like one fell off here, but oh, darn it. Oh well. So they're doing very good. Not quite as productive as last year, but last year was sort of an anomaly. But I do have some huge ones in here. Okay. I expanded my figs to 3 rows this year. So now I have 32 fig plants back here, loaded with lots of figs. They're all looking really good. More sweet potatoes this year. They're starting to vine out right on time. These are the strawberry plants that I rescued from my parents' house. So hopefully we'll have some to share. They're a good variety, Mara de Bois. These are my extra fig plants that I hope to sell. My persimmon tree actually died last year, and this is the rootstock, so this is probably an American persimmon. Tried grafting onto it this spring, but it didn't take. The grafting wood I got was really small. But I'll let this one get bigger and then try grafting again. I took down this calorie pear this year with the intention to graft a bunch of fruiting pears. I got a couple to take, but not quite the success that I was hoping to have. And this, because this had so much energy, you know, it's a 30-year-old tree, giant root system. When the grafts didn't take, it had to pump all its energy into what it could, so I've got a lot of droopy branches. But this is all fruiting, so it's not a total loss. I just have to figure out what to do about these drooping branches, because I might have to prune them off. This apple tree is doing pretty good. It's got 3 varieties on it. Should have apples next year. This one's got like 5 varieties on it, but it's kind of a constant struggle. Asparagus is all ferned out. Had a good crop of asparagus this year. Strawberries look good, but strawberries, I can't even believe how good my strawberries did this year. It was wild. This is my new raspberry bed. I had put some raspberries in at my parents' house, and then 5 days later they decided to buy a new house. So I rescued these and built this trellising system. And they're all alive. Obviously a lot of weeds. This was my old composting bed. So I've got watermelons here, tomatoes, and just extra stuff that's come up. But I think raspberries will look pretty good next year. Got horseradish, it's looking really good. Should be able to harvest quite a bit of that. And my peach tree's getting big. No flowers this year because of the cold snap. But that's my backyard garden. This year I've got these soil sensors that tell my phone how much moisture's in the soil. Kind of helps me make sure I don't miss a watering when they need it. Wi-Fi irrigation is working really well. Take you real quick to the front. the new corner beds I made. These look pretty good. Got a fig in the middle and the grasses. Going for a little bit of a Mediterranean look. I don't know how I'll keep these alive. That one's still alive, but not in the greatest shape. Just put this up a few days ago because I had some extra plants, and I'm gonna make them single stem up this. These are actually, each tomato plant has two different kinds of tomatoes because I grafted one variety onto another. So I'll have one stem of each variety growing up there. So in a month or 6 weeks, that'll look pretty interesting, I think. Another of my extra figs. Another of my extra figs. Come over to my pear tree here. I had to cover this tree back in March, and I did manage to save this Asian pear that I had grafted onto here, so I'll get some of those. And I had a bunch of other kinds on here, but they all got fire blight except for this one. So this is a European pear, and they're doing well. A little disappointed that I had to take out a lot of this wood, but it was just going to keep spreading. And there's always next year. There's a lot of new growth going on. And finally, blueberries. Pretty good. Again, the cold weather in the spring, I had to cover these, and some of the plants didn't produce anything. Like this plant usually gives me a nice crop, but not this year. But I harvested maybe 1.5 quarts, so not too bad. And this is finally my new in-ground fig bed. Got 10 figs in here that are either cold hardy or they ripen their figs very early. That way, when they come around in the spring, if they come around late, they'll still have time to ripen their figs. Need to pull some weeds in here. And I got some ideas on how to keep these alive over the winter. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, these were all little tiny sticks a couple months ago, and now they're growing nicely. And I think that's it. That's the garden. End of June 2024. Thanks for watching.